Gets the white. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Patriots Touchback Podcast. I'm not on my own, I promise. Carl will be with us momentarily. He's just having a child issue, but me and Carl are here. We're going to talk free agency tonight because the new league year has just officially started a couple of minutes ago. So the last few days of the legal tampering period have been in full swing. I'm yet to understand how you can have a legal tampering period because tampering is illegal, but that's the English language for you. So, some big deals away from the Patriots. Kirk Cousins has left Minnesota. He's gone to Atlanta. That will mean that they're not in the market for Justin Fields. That'll have a knock-on effect for the Bears. I don't think they're going to get the second round pick that they're chasing for him. Probably a third at best, but I don't know who's going to go for him yet. There's been a lot of re-signings, a lot of reworkings of contracts. Watkins has moved from the Dolphins up to the Raiders, and he's collected a big money deal from the Raiders. I think it's something like nearly $100 million over 4 years. That'll really improve the Raiders secondary, and not to mention with him and Max Crosby, that will mean that they probably won't be taking Byron Murphy II, who I suspected would be their draft choice. They're going to be in the need for a wide receiver and probably a quarterback. I would think there'll be those first two picks in the first and the second. So, welcome, Carl.
Good evening. Sorry about that. I had to tend to my child because he had woken up. We all right?
All good. Yeah, I was just giving a general introduction as to what we're going to do tonight, and just talking about two big deals that have gone away from the Patriots.
Indeed. Two things to start off with. First of all, happy new year for the NFL. 2024 is officially all started again, and also a big happy birthday as well to the man who basically runs this podcast. And it's of course DJ Ferrero. It's his birthday today. He's getting absolutely trolleyed, so happy birthday, mate. And yeah, cheers. We'll have a drink for you on that one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so free agency, legal tampering started on Monday. Now the real financial year has started. It's 7 minutes past 8 UK time. So we are all good to go. We're going to be going through everyone that has left, everyone that has re-signed, and anyone that we have signed already, shockingly, that we have signed. There were a couple of additions which I was like, oh, really? We picked up these two? Okay, fair enough then. So we've got a lot to get through tonight. But make sure you are smashing the like button on the video, and you're hitting the subscribe button. You're telling all your friends, and you make sure you follow us on Spotify as well on our podcast. Right, are we ready for this, Nick? Because we've got a lot to go through. So we're going to start off. We're going to start off with all the departures first. So we're going to start off with defensive back Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin. He signed a 1-year deal with the Giants by Adam Schefter. Mills saw declines in his playing time in each of the last two seasons after playing 90% of defensive snaps at corner. In his first year with the Pats in 2021, and then last year he moved to a safety role, and he only played 40% of snaps. His reported departure opens up more opportunities in the secondary for younger players like Marty Mapu. I did notice last year that Jalen Mills his snap count had fallen down a fair bit.
Yeah, he didn't have the that burst off the line, and I think if you watched obviously he'd moved away from corner, but when he was in that situation where he needed to change direction at the last minute and have a quick burst of speed. He just didn't have it, and I think he was okay when we were playing the teams that didn't have any pace up for any pace up the top end of the field. But I think that's why we saw his game time diminishing. That just the physical stature of the man meant that he was losing that extra yard that got him through his career, really.
He's been a valiant servant for the Patriots defense, but times needs to change, and we still need a little bit of help on the secondary anyway. So I think there's something to look out for in the draft. Maybe a 6th, 7th round, something on down the lines. So Titan Mike Gesicki, he signed a 1-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. To be honest, this is someone who, when he came in, I thought, oh, him and Henry together, this might actually be something quite juicy, quite exciting. And the only thing that was exciting of Mike Gesicki was his bloody reduced hairline. He was shocking. He was he was not good at it. He had 29 catches, 2 touchdowns in his only single season with the Pats. One of those touchdowns was a memorable one, and it was a good touchdown. It was a winner against the Bills. And with that really horrendous, I'm glad to see we don't have to see that horrendous freaking gritty ever again. The celebration. I really don't want to see it.
Do you not think he's more of a wide receiver? I don't think he's not a natural tight end, is it? And he's not a Gronk. He's not an Aaron Hernandez. I mean, before Aaron Hernandez went loopy.
He's Kelsey. He's a glorified receiver. He's like Jimmy Graham. He's like Travis Kelsey. He's a glorified wide receiver. He's not built for the tight end role. He's a receiver, basically. He's just a bigger receiver. And I think, the job that he was being asked to do, not to mention the fact that we were devoid of all skill across the front line and he reminds me,
offense.
He reminds me a lot of Mike Evans. Tall, good stature, very tall. Actually has got a good bit of pace on him. But at least Mike Evans knows that he is a wide receiver. Whereas Mike Gesicki thought that he was a tight end. So, I wasn't disappointed he lost this, okay? We will get into the re-signing soon. The team could look to draft out of the tight end and core, fight in an athletic piece. I tell you what, there are like 3 tight ends in the back end of the draft, which really have caught my eye. I've been keeping an eye on them. And, there are 3 I'm interested in. Theo Johnson, I'm interested in. Sidell, I think it is. I think I'm interested in him. And then there's another one. I can't remember what his name is now. I think it's like in the summer, the 6th, 7th round.
I think you can safely say Bowers is going to go in the first. I don't think you'll see a tight end go in the second. I think they're all third day.
If they're
third round onwards.
Put it this way: the two classes that are very low on depth is the tight end position and the running back position, because I don't see, if a tight end does go late 3rd round, I'm not sure who that could possibly be. To be frank. So anyway, right. Linebacker Mac Wilson. I was disappointed. We let Mac Wilson leave. Actually, he signed a 3-year deal with the Cardinals. I thought he was very, very good for us last season. He moved to a more role of an edge where where his athleticism could actually shine. The linebacker, he used that performance as a springboard to get a 3-year deal with the Cardinals, according to Mike Reese. The Patriots, they have good interior depth with Jawan Bentley, Tavani. I'm not going to try and pronounce the first name because it kills me. And Roquan McMillan. But McMillan's constantly injured all the time. So, I don't know. But I tried to retain Wilson. According to Mass Live's Mark Daniels, they were outbid by Arizona for his services. So, it was money at the end of the day that he ended up wanting. I like Mac Wilson. I thought he actually did a decent job for us. It's a shame he's left. Is what it is. But we frankly move on. What was your take on Mac Wilson anyway? What did you see his standout performances were for us?
I thought he played I thought he played really well in that run of one score defeats. That run of mid-season where we lost 4 in a row by one score, including in Germany. I thought he had at least a very consistent run of being ever present. You know, he wasn't missing too many snaps, and he was contributing to the defense. So, you know, I think it's another one where the Patriots are looking at moving on, and they're keeping the players that they have to keep that they can't replace yet because there's nobody good enough. But I think those that they can afford to let go or say we're not going to pay you more than this, then I think they're the guys that you're watching move on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame, but it is what it is with Matt Wilson. Wish him all the best at Arizona. We have to play Arizona as well next season, so be a little bit interested to see how offensive line does with him coming at us. Anyway, one of the departures, I was absolutely delighted. I was throwing my pom-poms around in the air when I saw this. Devontae Parker has officially gone. That bum was useless for us. Constantly injured.
Out of here.
Constantly injured. Constantly terrible. He just did nothing. And what stood out for me was it was earlier on in the season when he had that interview. That was the moment I knew that's it. You've checked out already, mate. You checked out already. I don't want.
That was that. There was that moment when the ball went through his hands and Bill just yanked him off the pitch and said, "Sit down."
Yeah,
and he didn't play again. He didn't play again.
Didn't play again. So the details are Patriots are moving on from starting next receiver Adam Schefter. It's a disappointing turn after Parker signed an extension with the team last summer. We gave him an extension. Jesus Christ. Parker has had some moments during his 2 seasons with New England, but was inconsistent in his availability and his performance. And that's putting it very, very lightly, actually. As the team looks to upgrade the receiving core, they now have a major open spot to fill on the outside, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Williams got released from the Chargers. Go get him. Go and get Mike Williams. And yes, I know he's like Devontae Parker. He is injury prone. But when he's on the field, he will actually still do a job. So, yeah, no, good riddance to Devontae Parker. Sorry, you can piss off back to Miami. I don't care. And then the last one, the big one. We knew that Mac Jones was going to leave. We knew. Oh, wow. Ian Rappaport has just put out a tweet saying defensive line Eric Armstead has just been released. That's not a bad piece to have alongside Christian Barmore. Anyway, so yeah, Mac Jones, he's been traded. He has officially been traded. He is gone. I think when you look back at Mac Jones' tenure, you've got to look at it as his first year showed promise. Let's be real. His first year that he did show promise. But then Bill Belichick decided to freaking get in his own way and put in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as his OC coordinators and his quarterback coaches. So I really didn't help him. He regressed badly. They brought in Bill O'Brien last year to try and give him something else, but he was shot to pieces. And when you get lynched off twice, one of them being at the Frankfurt game where we watched, it just looked like it's over for him. It's so over for him. I do feel sorry for Mac Jones in a way because partly some of this is not his fault. This is the organization completely and utterly screwing up a young quarterback. But the quarterback also has to try and overcome those adversities. And he never did. He never, ever did. And that was why he fell to us at 15 in the draft in 2021, I believe.
I'm impressed we got a 6th for him. I didn't think we'd get that for him.
He made the playoffs.
I know, but he's a Jacksonville boy as well, isn't he? He's from Jacksonville. I think. Look, I fully understand what you say about how bad it was in that second year, and then they brought in Bill O'Brien, and that wasn't much better. But I don't think in all the years that I've been watching NFL, and not just the Patriots, across the whole league, I can't think of another player that's had such a fall from grace from his first year to his second to his third. I cannot think of another player who's been that bad. I mean, Johnny Manziel was bad, but he didn't even get on the field to start with. And, he didn't have a good first season. Mac had a good first season and has just literally fell off the cliff. And I cannot think of another player that's done that. But he wasn't helped. Mac loves time in the pocket. He loves to be able to go through his reads at his own pace, pick a pass, and throw it. But in the second year and the third year, he didn't have that. The offensive line in front, there's that video on your YouTube, and it's certainly on our Twitter feed because I watch it occasionally, where it was halftime in Germany, and we both agreed in that chat that went on the Twitter feed, and I said, if he's got nobody to block for him, how do we expect him to play a pass? And he wasn't even getting chance to go through his reads. It was literally receive the ball, boom, get hit, because the line protecting him was so poor that it's not all his fault, but unfortunately he has to take the response. It's part and parcel of being the QB. When when it all goes well, you get to be the guy that holds up the Lombardi at the end of it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
same way, flip side of the coin, when it goes badly, you've got to stick your hand up and say it's on me.
Yeah, well, which
And
he
it
did.
wasn't on him. It wasn't.
No, but he was basically being the fall guy. He was just taking
Yes.
responsibility, even though it wasn't his responsibility, even when it wasn't his fault. He still took responsibility. That's what a leader. That's what a leader does. Take responsibility, even though it wasn't your fault. So I'll give respect for Mac Jones for that. But now he has to play back up to Trevor Lawrence. There's no way he's beating out Trevor Lawrence's position at Jacksonville. I highly doubt it. I'll be very surprised if that does happen.
No, but Trevor Lawrence is another player that picks up I mean, I'm not saying he's injury prone, but Trevor Lawrence always picks up the odd niggle here and there. He misses a game here, and he might miss a couple of games a season just through the odd niggle or whatever. I wouldn't surprise me if Mac Jones plays this next year. I'm not saying he'll play. He's not going to beat out Lawrence, and I'm not saying he's going to play a lot, but he might see a few games, 2 or 3.
Possibly, maybe towards the end of the season when it's dead, because I've got a very early prediction. I've got Houston winning the AFC South this year. Anyhow, right. So let's have a look at the resign. So we got some. Yeah, where are we now? Right. Re-signings, here we go. So we're going to start with some lesser ones first. So linebacker Christian Ellis officially got re-signed. Quarterback Nathan Rourke, who was the backup to Jacksonville last year. And then we picked him up off waivers. He officially got re-signed. So we've got 3 quarterbacks here, and I'll explain why we got 3 when we should only have 2. And Tyra Wheatley Jr., another tackle, didn't play a down for New England at all. Possibly maybe a swing tackle. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Right. Let's move to the more advanced one. So, Anthony Jennings, edge, reportedly returning on a 3-year deal by Ian Rappaport. Jennings had a breakout 2023 season, 14 tackles for loss after seeing his playtime increase to offset the loss of Matthew Judon. His emergence helped him reportedly land a 3-year pact where he could continue to lead the way as a stout edge-setting presence and emerging playmaker. If there was 2 guys I wanted to keep hold of on this defense, one of them was Anthony Jennings. I thought he was improving. And Josh Uche had a stellar season last year. And we'll move on to Uche later on. But edge Anthony Jennings re-signs. What do you make of that, Nick?
Like you said, yeah, it's a good deal for the Patriots. You can't fix everything. Yeah, I'm sure there are better edges available most of the time the problem is edges cost a lot of money, and there's only so many blue chip ones that all make a big difference. So there's not enough of them. So I think, like you said, and like that paragraph there says, when Judon went out, it gave Jennings the chance to play a bit more, and he's obviously improved enough to show some improvement. And all you can ask is that the guy puts in the effort, earns an next contract, and he continues to work hard. If he keeps working hard, he'll keep playing, and the Patriots might see the benefit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope he continues to improve. Okay, and moving on to another edge, Josh Uche. He only a 1-year deal, but here's the kicker in this. Okay, so Uche's production fell off in 2023, but he remains highly athletic edge rusher who can track down most mobile QBs. An internally developed player. 2022 rounder will have a chance to bounce back in 2024 and earn a more robust market. Though reports indicate that Uche chose a return to the Patriots over more lucrative offers elsewhere. With him back in the mix, the Patriots could take a designated pass rusher off the list of needs for the spring. I was delighted when Uche re-signed back with us. But the fact he re-signed for less money is actually probably a testament to Jared Mayo, if I must say, or DeMarcus Covington.
Yeah, I mean, it talks about turning down lucrative offers. I know that around the NFL, Greg Rosenthal reported that apparently one of those offers was from the Seahawks, and it was a $12 million four-year deal. So effectively he stayed at the Patriots for 1 year for $3 million, which is effectively 1 year's worth of the Seahawk deal he got offered. Can't fault the guy. We like. What's Mike Tomlin's thing? I want volunteers, not hostages. So. Yep. The guy wants to stay. The guy wants to put the work in, and yes, it fell off, but he wasn't the only one. The whole team fell off. So I don't think that's much of a black mark on his name. So again, like Jennings, all he can do is keep putting in the performances, keep putting in the effort, and hopefully he'll earn himself a better deal.
Jalen Reagor reportedly re-signed. It's basically $1 million he's re-signed for. Not going to be too much damage, to be honest with you. It's more of a sort of more like kickoff returner or punt returner, possibly in his place. But then we got Marcus Jones, who we know what Marcus Jones is capable of on a kickoff return or a punt return. So Reagor didn't make much of an impact as a receiver after being promoted from the practice squad last season, grabbing just 7 catches in 11 games. But he made most of the impact felt in Buffalo when he returned the opening kickoff for a TD. A former first-round pick, Reagor has good speed, but has never fully put it all together. Patriots continue to look for more explosiveness from the offensive group, and perhaps a second year in New England will be the charm for Reagor. I'm not holding too much hope on this, if I'm brutally honest. I think this is $1 million, and then he could get cut before the season starts.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah, Richard, what's the senior report just put? Joe Mixon traded to the Houston Texans. Fair enough. Okay, so that was Jalen Reagor. Now then, the cornerstone of this offensive line. And what is the cornerstone of this offensive line? Michael Onwenu. I said to you, how many times did I repeat this on this podcast? We have to re-sign Mike Onwenu. We had to. And we paid him. We paid him very handsomely. Patriots Boyd retained one of the best draft picks of recent seasons, locking up Michael Onwenu on a lucrative multi-year deal. Onwenu is a versatile offensive lineman, but fits best at guard, where the team will likely aim to play him full-time if they can re-establish their tackle depth. Not quite, so I think they will keep the right tackle for the time being. It's a quality re-sign and one that sends a good message about the Patriots' plans to implement a draft, develop, retain approach to team building. Almost messed up my words up there. Happy that Onwenu has returned?
No.
What do you mean no?
You know me. I love to pick a hill and die on it. And I said that I wouldn't re-sign him. So I can't turn around and say, "Oh, well, that's a good deal." I wouldn't have signed him, to be honest. I'd have let him go.
So who would have a right tackle then?
I'd have
exactly. There you go.
No, hang on. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. I'd have probably looked at Tyron Smith, who was at the Cowboys, who's a free agent.
He's a left tackle.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He can play right tackle. Or, and this is, I've been saying this for weeks, I'd be trading down, massing picks, and I'd be taking some tackles in the draft.
Yeah, we don't have a quarterback per se, and we don't have a legitimate number one receiver.
We've just had this conversation about Mac Jones. If you can't protect the quarterback, what's the point in having a good one? It's no good getting your quarterback obliterated in game 2 because he hasn't got anybody blocking for him.
Is Mac Jones a scrambler?
No.
No, right, there we go then. That's what sometimes you can devoid the offensive line by having a quarterback that has actually got a set of wheels on him.
So did Stephen Hawking, but that wouldn't make him a great
quarterback. Wow. Okay. Christ, that went dark. Okay, let's get back to Jesus Christ.
Excuse me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So
rest in peace.
Right, let's get back on topic. Yeah. Right, Michael and Whitney. Look, so you're disappointed. Look, I'm happy he's back. Okay.
I'm not saying I'm disappointed. I'm just saying I can't sit here and say that that's a great deal when I wouldn't have done it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm disappointed. I'm just saying I wouldn't have done it.
Would you rather him or Trent Brown?
Oh, that's blind leading the blind. I'd rather Onwenu than Trent Brown.
Right, so we got Onwenu then. So shut up. Anyway, right. Well, we do have, as I said, Tyron Wheatley Jr. was signed for us. He's yet to make his NFL game debut, but is an athletic tackle who provides good depth at a major position of need this offseason. If he can make strides in his development, it will be a major bonus for the Patriots, who don't currently have an established left tackle on the roster. So, there we go. What, replacing Cole Strange?
No, the other side.
City So.
Because So had his issues. Tavai covered for him. He had his issues. Move him to right guard between David Andrews and Onwenu. If he's not when you sign your tackle in the draft and you get Joe O or you get JC Latham in the draft, then you don't need him to play left tackle, so he can play right guard.
Well, I mean, that's if we go down that road, because we still don't know what we're doing in the draft yet. Anyway, moving on. Quarterback, Alex Austin. Now, he was claimed off waivers in November 2023. Went on to appear in 5 games with the Patriots, picking up an interception against the Bills in Week 17. I remember that pretty well, actually. The team that had drafted him in the 7th round before cutting him at the end of training camp. Austin provides valuable depth at quarterback and making strides on defense during his brief time in New England. Still just 22, Austin could be a dark horse to contribute to the season. To the back end of last season, actually, to be fair to Austin, he actually looked quite promising. If there's one thing we haven't lacked last season was corner depth. I don't know, okay, we lost our main one in Christian Gonzalez. But it seems like Austin actually done a decent job, especially to the back end of the season.
Yeah, something just reminded me that I made some notes on Austin when we had a podcast. During it would have been game week 18, so it would have been our 17th game. I've put here, impressed by rookie Alex Austin. Played 3 quarters. He allowed 3 catches on 6 targets for 14 yards. If he continues to develop like this, and I've put in brackets baby steps, then we might see good production from him. So obviously, even at the end of last year, I knew I made some notes on him. I obviously picked up something on him. So yeah, I mean, there we go. So hopefully, again, he's another one that if he can keep sort of moving forward and he can keep improving, then all good.
Okay, right. So we do. So 2 more to return. Tight end Hunter Henry. Yes, he re-signed. I don't have to get rid of another bloody jersey. According to NFL Network, Patriots signed Henry to a 3-year deal on Friday before free agency opens. So no-brainer move, as the tight end market was fairly sparse, and Henry has been outstanding both on and off the field in his 3 years with the team. Of all the receivers that we got, receiver/tight ends, Hunter Henry has been the best of a bad bunch. He also got more touchdowns last year than Travis Kelce. So, he deserves to stay on for me personally. I think it looks like he's got over his, knock on wood, he's actually got over his injury history now that he had at the Chargers. And he seems to be, I do like Hunter Henry, and I'm glad that he has returned. A real solid piece that we need in the receiving core massively. What about you?
I think I know Bourne's on the list above him, but I can cover them both in the same statement. I think these two, both Henry and Bourne, are perfect examples of where they are probably players that we've re-signed through the fact that there is not much out there. Because I think had the tight end market been a bit more flush and a bit deeper, whether it be in the draft or in free agency, I don't know whether we'd have signed. I'm not saying we've got our hands tied, but I think that one's where your choices are quite low and limited, and Henry makes sense based on what you have in front of you. Same with Kendrick Bourne.
Well, he was playing well up until he tore his ACL against the Dolphins last October. So it was said that'll be week 6 or week 8, one of those 2 weeks when we played the Dolphins. But he looked decent. He looked very, very good. But I would have thought he would just get a 1-year prove it deal just to make sure he comes off this ACL fine. But he'd be given a 3-year deal. And I believe he's a good guy in the locker room as well. I think the players love Kendrick Bourne. They just love his gusto. They love his his stature, this, that, and the other. Even though he's nowhere near the best receiver that we got. But yeah, I'm happy with Kendrick Bourne. I'm happy with Hunter Henry returning. Our receiving core is still very, very iffy, to say the least. You could only say Demario Douglas and probably to a certain extent Juju Smith-Schuster. But apart from that, it's not really something to write home about, is it?
Yeah, I mean, the 3-year deal is only for $19.5 million guaranteed. It's a $33 million deal max, but that includes all of his incentives and his roster bonuses. For just salary pay, it's only the 19.5 over the 3 years. So I don't know whether it was a case of maybe he was only willing to sign the deal if it was 3 years, and maybe we did want 1 year or 2 years, but we had to give him that extra year just to get him to sign it. I don't know. But there's one wide receiver that's on the market that I thought that before Williams got released, and that was Hollywood Brown. So, if you were saying to me, would you rather Kendrick Bourne or Hollywood Brown? I'd have probably chosen Brown over Bourne.
Probably.
It'd have been close. I think it'd have probably come down to who was cheaper. but you've got Douglas there. Butte's got some issues coming up. He might get banned indefinitely.
True.
So maybe signing Bourne was a good idea, but we certainly need to get one in the draft at least, and a good one at that.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. All right, so moving on. So here come our new signings. So linebacker Sion Takitaki. Takitaki has been a special teams ace for the Browns since being taken in the third round of the 2019 draft. Elevated to a more significant role on defense in 22 and 23, playing over 60% of the defensive snaps, while seeing his special teams role reduced. His reported signing will provide valuable rotation depth both on defense and on special teams, offering a solid replacement for Matt Wilson, who reportedly joined the Cardinals on May. So I don't know a lot about Sion Takitaki. Obviously, he played for Cleveland. A replacement for Matt Wilson. Do you know much about Takitaki at all?
No, but I want to say tiki-taki after Pep Guardiola's football style.
Nah.
Let's tiki-taki. No, I don't. I can't confess to knowing a lot at all.
Full report. Let's go on to Twitter and find out. A lot of people were saying who? I mean, it's not. That's not. Here we go. Takitaki's 29 in June. He's 6'1", 238 pounds. Linebacker into his sixth season for BYU. A very well-rounded linebacker. Takitaki broke out 22-4 before tearing his ACL in December. Lovely. Recovering fast, he had 65 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and a 65.3 passer rating allowed.
2-year deal, $6.5 million.
That's nothing really. It's peanuts.
Could be up to 10, but it's 6.5
with incentives.
Yeah.
Yeah, with incentives. So yeah, that's not a bad signing, to be honest with you. It's a replacement for Matt Wilson. We'll see how he gets on. Brisket is back. Jacoby Brisket is back. We know the 2016 third rounder, reportedly bringing the veteran quarterback back to New England on a 1-year deal. Following the reported trade of Mac Jones, the moves makes a lot of sense. Brissett played under Alex Van Pelt in Cleveland 2022 and has familiarity with his system. A welcome locker room addition, Brissett can at least hold the fort while a potential younger quarterback develops behind him. It was a move that made too much sense for the team not to happen. I had a funny feeling that with this scenario, it was either going to be him or Joe Flacco who was coming through the door, because Baker got his money at the Buccaneers. Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta Falcons, and Russell and the Steelers, they get the glorious honor of getting Rusty. So I think this makes perfect. Go on.
Mind you, he's cost $8 million. For half of that, you could have had Winston. He's only cost Cleveland $4 million. I didn't say he was good. You want to talk about an improvement on the offense and the fact that we were the worst offense last year. Yes. You can guarantee Winston would throw it a little bit, sling it.
Yes, but I don't want his I don't want his turnover bakery coming to Foxborough. Okay, I don't want it. So no.
No, I think it's like you said. It's a good deal to be done. It is trending towards the fact that the Patriots are going to select a QB somewhere higher, whether it's first round or second round. So I think Brisket makes a great move, really. And if he plays all year because the QB's not ready, then so be it. If he plays half the year, he will do what the veteran's supposed to do, really. So, there we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we'll welcome Jacoby Brissett back. It will be he's a bridge. The simple fact is he's a bridge. going into this season. We will find out who our rookie quarterback will be in the draft. So, one of the first signings we picked up, actually, offensive tackle Chukwuma Okafor. Hopefully, I've not butchered that name. Okafor.
Say that again.
Okafor. I got it right there. Should be viewed as a high-end swing tackle, low-end starter at right tackle. New England only has Conor McDermott, Vidarian Lowe, well, he's shit anyway. Andrew Stober, we've never seen, and Calvin Anderson, who is, well, just old, frankly. Under contract at offensive tackle. Okafor is an upgrade over that group with more experience and better physical traits to start games if necessary. So he's not necessarily a starting tackle, is he? He is more of a swing or could play backup whenever needed be. One thing I did notice about Okafor was he started playing in 2018 and he's only given up 5 penalties since 2018. So he's not someone to false start. He's not someone who he can hold. So he seems quite a clean tackle.
Didn't Trent Brown give up 5 penalties in one game last year?
He did, yeah.
But
there you go then. So, you know, it's a good player to have from the Steelers as well, which was a bit concerning because the Steelers O-line over the years has been subpar at best. But no, I say it's a good sign. And to be honest with you, Conor McDermott, I didn't have a problem with McDermott at tackle. I thought he did a steady job. With Darian Lowe, we saw what happened at left tackle. He was absolutely shocking. Stober, we haven't even seen yet playing. Calvin Anderson. Yeah, he's just a bit old. Yeah. So, okay. Next one up. We finally have a third down back. How long does it take us to get a third down back since Sweet Feet? So running back Antonio Gibson, formerly of the Commanders, running back to a 3-year deal. Gibson values in his versatility where he continues where he combines 4.39 speed and above average receiving skills to be a factor in passing situations. The former third-round pick has 40-plus catches in 4 consecutive seasons, including a 48-catch campaign in 2023. With Gibson in the fold, the receiving back could return to the Patriots offense. Thank goodness for that, because we missed Ty Montgomery for 1 year. Sweet Feet was gone at that point. It was basically Ramondre Stevenson or Ezekiel Elliott last year, and you could just tell we needed someone out of the backfield with pace and was quite small and shifty to weave his way through the traffic. We never had that, but it's good to see. I've just seen that Miami released cornerback Xavier Howard. I tell you what, Xavier Howard and Gonzalez together. Whew. Oh dear. Anyhow, so what do you think of Antonio Gibson signing? I think it's a bit lukewarm, to be honest with you. He's always been playing second, even third fiddle at Washington. So very hard for me to put a gauge on him.
In the context of looking at what you've got, I think he's an improvement on Zeke. I think Zeke, even when we signed Zeke, I felt his best years were behind him. So I think Gibson's an improvement on Elliott. So for that purpose alone, you've got to say, that's a good move. Stevenson's probably going to be your number one running man. So we're not breaking the bank for him either. So what, 11.25 million for 3 years. So it's a team friendly deal. He will produce, I would think he's gonna have chance to produce somewhere, and he's better than what we had. So I think you've got to put it in the win column, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to let you know, guys, we've got 13 people watching here. They're all on X. So please switch over to YouTube and go and spam that like button. It'll be very, very much appreciated, please, if you can. This is really good stuff. Right, we haven't got a lot left to go through, so let's scroll back up now. It's the last one, and this got released earlier on today. Tight end Austin Hooper, 29-year-old, joins starting tight end Hunter Henry to give New England veteran a stability at the position. After making the Pro Bowl in consecutive seasons with the Falcons, Hooper joined new offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt at Cleveland for 2 seasons, tallied 84 catches, 780 yards, and 7 touchdowns in Van Pelt's offense during the 2020-21 season. Oh, I've gone and dropped my pen. Okay, never mind. I've seen a bit of an outrage on X, basically saying that we could have got Miles. It's Brian, the other tight end from Cleveland, instead of Austin Hooper. What do you make of this? Hooper, I thought, was very good at Atlanta. But he has sort of dropped off a little bit. He is a pass catcher, but he can block as well. He is an overall tight end, which is kind of what we need anyway. What do you make of Austin Hooper?
Again, I'm in the context of the previous Antonio Gibson. It's a decent deal. What is it? 1 year, $4.25 million. So again, it's salary cap friendly. He's an improvement on Mike Gesicki. So again, looking at comparing him to what you had, he's an improvement. So I think you've got to sort of put it in the win column and say, right, okay, get out there, produce, show us what you've got. That's all you can ask for from these new signings. All you can do is ask them to put their body up, put their body on the field, and get the job done. Patriots mantra, do your job. Get out there, do your job, and show us that we're not making fools out of ourselves by paying you money.
Yeah, absolutely. So the restricted free agents, Terrace Hall, Christian Ellis, and Trey Nixon, they were they weren't unrestricted free agents. Restricted free agents. I'm not sure what ERFA stands for. If I'm not sure, was it emergency? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Unrestricted free agents, where we knew JC Jackson has gone. Trent Bound, we knew he was going. Adrian Phillips got released in February, beg your pardon. Ezekiel Elliott's gone. Lawrence Guy getting released, I was actually quite surprised about when I saw that, because I'm like, he's an integral part of that defensive tackle position.
Did he retire? Has he retired since being released?
I'm not sure. Nothing been released. Nothing's been said about it. You must have missed it.
Okay,
I don't recall saying it.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm getting confused. I thought since he was released, he retired. I can't remember. Maybe not.
Miles Bryant got released. Thank freaking God. Cody Davis, it's a special teamer, really. Matt Wilson, we already know of already. Farrell Brown got released as well, which I thought Farrell Brown actually done well, to be honest, when Gesicki was just being absolutely useless. And then Terrace Hall is not restricted free agent. I think he's left as well. So the other person to talk about is obviously Kyle Duggar. The transition tag's got on him. Not the franchise tag, but the transition tag. I think it's about 15 million. I think something on those lines that he's got. I'm happy we kept hold of Duggar, because he's pretty much our best safety that we got. And I know people say, oh, yeah, but Peppers was very good at that. Peppers was very, very good. But I think Duggar was more... I think Duggar is someone that you could actually build around, whereas Jabril Peppers was more of an impact type of safety. What was your thoughts on Duggar getting transition tagged?
I'd have signed him to a deal, to be honest. I sat here on the pod, when the season finished or when the playoffs were on, and I said that one of the
13 million. Sorry, thank you for correcting me. 13 million rather.
One of the priorities for the Patriots in the off season had to be getting the contract for Duggar done. I believe it was Luke that said to me, well, what about Onwenu? And that's where I come to the point that I wasn't too bothered. So I'd have redone it. I'd done what I mean. The other thing is with the transition tag is somebody can offer him a deal, and the Patriots only need to match it, and then he's signed. So it's. I think it's good that he's still on our books, and I think we just have to hope that he continues to perform at the level he has been, because he has been one of our key performers in the last few years when it's been bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He has been key to us, especially for the defensive line situation. Yeah, I mean, rating from 1 being absolutely shockingly to 10 to being absolutely fantastic. How would you rate free agency that we've done so far on a scale of 1 to 10?
5/6, 5.5.
Oh, Jesus, that average.
Yeah, I. The problem is, you can say, oh yeah, well we've signed this guy, You don't know that he's actually going to produce, and so it's all on paper. There are it goes back to what I just said to you about Bourne or Brown, for example. Tyron Smith's still there. Until today, there was the tackle that's come off the Ravens. Dullard, is it? No, can't remember. So there was some big names available, and why haven't we gone and got Gilmore? The man's 33. He could do a year. Why haven't we gone and got Stephon Gilmore? The Patriots play man to man. Gilmore's one of the best man to man corners that there is available.
Yeah,
that's the sort of move that would move me from a 5.5 to a 6.5. There are players. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to sign Gilmore. We might be doing a deal quietly, waiting those first couple of days, and maybe by Friday we announced we've done a deal with Gilmore. Maybe Gilmore's not interested. I don't know, but that's the sort of making a move that makes the difference is what you are looking for. And I just think that while some of these moves have been great, Gibson's an improvement on Elliott. Bourne we needed to retain just because of the lack of quality in the wide receiver room. Henry we needed to keep hold of. Yeah, these ones, we've done the ones that we needed to, but we haven't really sort of, gone out there and, thrown your money on the table and gone, we want you. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that signing that's going to get you excited, that's going to say this season will be different. Because right now, it's all talk.
It is all talk right now. I mean, I'll rate it 6.5. But if we get an ex-receiver, one that I've been keeping an eye on for literally for the last hour or so since he got released, then I will bump it up to a 7, because we've kept hold of the key core players that we've needed. Even though the record states we're 4-13 and we look like a shocking team, the defensive side of the ball was never the issue. It was always the offensive side of the ball. You kept the best tight end we could probably have. You kept the best tackle, and you've also kept hold of, and you also got hold of Kendrick Bourne, even though he's pretty much paid now to be a wide receiver 4. But you kept pieces around them. Now it's down to Elliott Wolf now to maybe get some more deals through or start planning what you're going to do for the draft, because there is 3 different avenues you can go. You can go quarterback, you could take Marvin Harrison, or you could trade down and, as you say, get a load of picks and go and get 2 tackles and a receiver maybe, and you're just going to rely on Jacoby Brissett for the whole entire season, which I don't think is the case. But Bailey Zappi's... I'd be very surprised if Bailey Zappi gets traded at some point because, I mean, he doesn't bring anything.
No, but I think again he's a body. You're going to need camp bodies, aren't you? You're going to need camp bodies, and there's only Jacoby Brissett, Zappi, and Rourke in the QB room. So you're gonna need that body in camp just to allow the other guys a rest and whatever else. So I don't think you'll see Zappi cut before the end of training camp. And the other thing is you've got Rourke as well. So what you're gonna for example, you draft somebody, okay? So you've got your draftee, Brissett, and Rourke, I would assume, would be your third thing. So, yeah, you would let Zappi go. We're talking about a man who got cut at the end of last camp and then signed back. So, I don't suppose anyone wants to trade for him. So, I wouldn't trade for him.
I mean, we're lucky to get a sick for Mac Jones. We'll get enough. We'll probably get a peanut butter sandwich. We'll probably get something like a peanut butter sandwich for Brady Zappi. We do have a comment here. So Patricio, good to see you, sir. I feel MHJ is the way to go at 3 and draft a QB late. I mean, if we don't get this X receiver, we're probably looking at getting Marvin Harrison Jr. But it all depends, though. I mean, there are a couple of quarterbacks in the back end of the draft you could go for, i.e. a Spencer Rattler, Sam Hartson, Joe
Hartman.
Hartman. Joe Milton, who was a quarterback for, I believe, the Tennessee Volunteers. He also he threw the hardest ball during the combine as well. I think it was like 64 mile an hour, which was his hardest throw. Take that with what you will. So there are quarterbacks there available to take at the back end, but they're not polished already like a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels. I would say Drake Mayer, but his footwork is all over the place. He needs to sort his footwork out.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Would you rather draft your boy, JJ McCarthy, or would you rather draft my boy, Sam Hartman? Notre Dame all the way, by the way.
Is there vodka still in the bottle? No comment. I'm not answering that question because that's a bit like choosing between my mum and my son. That's not fair. That's just not fair. And on that bombshell, we're going to get on out of here. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Nick, as always, you're fantastic. That's good. Free agency has kicked off. It has now officially started. It's now 2 minutes past 9. The signing can now all be starting. Our next episode, you better get your hats on. You better get your draft hats on ready, gentlemen, because next week, one of us, it doesn't matter who, they will be in the hot seat, and we will be doing our first ever mock draft here on the Patriots Touchback. So make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you smash the like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Tell all your friends. The NFL season, financial season, is now starting. We'll be back next week for another edition. And trust me, next week is going to be an absolute laugh. One of us is going to be put in the mastermind hot seat and get our own Patriots mock draft. Peace out, people.